share my screen and we should begin. Please let me know once you're able to see my screen and should be able to see it. And is that visible? Awesome. All right. So before I start with the whole presentation and teaching you some concepts, right? I would first like to know, has anybody tried ever building any kind of agentic solution ever in your whole academics? You can write it in the chat itself, like if you are comfortable, or you can just give a thumbs up if you have. Okay, I guess that's just one guy who has done it. No issues. And here we are with Beyond Prompts, Agentic AI. The major reason behind tuning into Agentic AI instead of being into the prompting part is like right now, whenever we see any kind of solution which is happening in our whole day-to-day life, has involvement of agents. So the thing is like whenever we go into industry, when we are thinking of getting into a set of career, we always think like what shall I do for getting better into my career, getting better job, getting better startup, entrepreneurship, and also building some kind of product which can impact. Let it be for hackathon, let it be for your own startup, or even for your own project for your resume. The part where it comes to picture is like what exactly should I do? What is the roadmap? So in today's whole session, I'll show you what kind of roadmap you can go with. Along with, you'll also be learning about how Agentic AI works, what kind of chatbots, or right now we should not be saying chatbots because it's very like middle class term. You can say it like that, like the series which is so usually Sarah versus Sarah, you know, Monica. So you should be sophisticated in speaking in AI languages such as like agentic AI, orchestrator, augmentation, and all those bunch of things. You should say those jargons are really important when you are pitching your product anywhere. So yeah, coming to me, who exactly I am. I work as AI consultant, and this is my LinkedIn. You can follow me. You can, if you have any kind of questions, any kind of doubts, you can ping me on LinkedIn. I'll help you out with anything. Okay, so share my slides. Always connect. Connection will help you in building your own career development path. I myself used to, when I was in my college days, like I used to conduct workshops like this where I invite speakers out of my college, even out of India, on virtual platform because back then there was COVID when I was in my third year. So go to the community, contribute in open source, and try going into Reddit communities and Discord communities. That's the way you can flourish yourself, flourish your skills. Now, agentic enterprise or agentic AI solutions, what kind of automation we are going to be looking into. So, whenever we try to build any kind of agents, right, there is so-called LLM. This is a set of terms which we are learning in day-to-day life, right? Has anybody ever tried LLM in their whole period right now? You can type it, you can give a thumbs up, whichever you like. Have you tried LLMs? Guys, respond. No? आनंद भाई ने किया. Nice. So, who has never ever used LLM? You can type it no if you like. Like If you haven't ever used LLMs in your whole life, you can type no. कोई नहीं है, सबने यूज किया, अच्छी बात है. So, coming to the LLM part, what exactly these language models are? So, can I say my brain is a language model? Like right now, whenever I'm speaking anything, right? Okay, Aditya has not used LLM. ChatGPT, have you used? Have you used ChatGPT, Aditya? No, the question is fine. Okay, good. So that's where it's using LLM. So you should be familiar like what exactly is happening in there and what kind of things you are using. Correct? So if you haven't used LLM, then there's some kind of issue with your skill set because nowadays everybody is using LLM such as Claude, ChatGPT, even DeepSeek. So there are multiple options you can try with. Now coming to the original topic where I was speaking about how exactly this LLM work. If we think of our brain, we have been trained for last 20 years by our parents, by our teachers, by books. ABCD सीखते थे, correct? Alphabets, English, Hindi, आपकी जो regional language है वो. So all those things got fine tuned into your brain, right? And that's why you are able to speak, you are able to understand a particular person. Now, if you go into Mexico, try Latin, or even let's say you go in Spanish, like you try Spanish and all those things. If you don't know that language, you won't be able to speak it, right? Similarly, for language model is the same case. Currently, we have large language model because it has been trained on that kind of data. Earlier, we had language models back in 2019, 2020, 2021. We had language models provided by GPT itself, GPT-1, GPT-2. Then GPT-3 and 3.5 came in, and then both. We have large language models since then. So, if I want to be up to date with all the information which is currently present in the world, how will I be able to do so? I'll need to read. I'll need to read newspaper. I'll need to feed my mind with probably Instagram reels or anything like that. Correct. Now the problem lies is I'm not fine tuning my brain on those data. I'm not ratifying it. So what is exactly happening? That's known as RAG. We'll come to that later. But right now this is how the LLM work overall. We tune it, we fine tune it, and we quantize it. Right now, if you try to rectify each and everything, you won't be able to. But slowly, you will be able to remember that properly. Now, coming to the next part, like how exactly the evolution of this chatbot to agentic came into picture. Earlier, whenever we tried to query on Zomato, Swiggy, we used to get a static response. And even if you have tried out Amazon chatbots or IRCTC chatbots back in the days, you will be able to get a static response like you ask for what is the delivery time, it will give you an estimate time for generalized delivery. Like what is your pin code, and will give you the estimate time. And then slowly and steadily, when LLMs came into picture, it started with like, okay, I'm asking you something. You will check if that particular thing exists or not in the market, and then you will give me the answer, such as like intent entity identification, right? If you have learned NLP, then you'll be able to relate it quite well. So back in those days, I used to build chatbots from NLP by utilizing part of speech. Then there were entities such as like if I want to extract any kind of information, if it's noun, pronoun, verb, I should omit verb and all those things, and I just get the noun or adjective out of it so that I can understand what is the context behind it. And slowly, steadily, we moved into agents, automated systems, where it will correct itself. If it's wrong, it will discuss it's among itself and then think like, okay, this is the user's question. It's asking for probably getting a regional trend on like what is the current trend for agentic AI, what kind of pathway should I go with, and if it is able to find those resources from the context, then it will be able to give out a set of information to you. It will observe, it will think, it will self-correct, and it will respond back with a set of response. Now, how exactly this whole thing in this picture lies? Like, क्या exactly हो क्या रहा है? So, whenever there is some kind of execution happening, right, this is the overall cognitive loop. So, whenever there is execution in the agent, you need to think of it as there will be a reasoning model in there, where each and every content which it gets in the prompt or after the research, it tries to see like if it is relevant or not, and then it tries to learn it. There's always adaptive learn. How whenever you try to use ChatGPT, right? It knows and it remembers whatever you have requested in your previous queries, such as like you may have a different chat session and you are currently a different one. Earlier, you probably might have submitted your resume and told ChatGPT that, hey, I want to revise this resume into this skills. I want to add this projects, and can you refine it? And now in the next chat session, you are asking it like, can you guide me what kind of projects I can do with Agentic AI? Or what kind of jobs I can get into. So it will remember like whatever you had discussed earlier in the chat about resume, it will remember the context from there and it will also pick up the context from your current chat. Like, okay, you want to do this and then you want to execute it. Those are part of memory and it is learning from your queries. So that's how the overall agentic loop works. And does anybody remember Cloud Code's source code got leaked by NPM last week? Do anybody remember it? Yeah, they want to remembers. Good. Any others? Do you guys have the source code? You should get. I'll share the link. You can get it from there. Okay. So in there, you may be thinking like, सर वो तो सिर्फ फ्रंट एंड का कोड था हमें क्या लेना देना उससे राइट एनपीएम का कोड है उसमें क्लॉड कैसे बना है वो तो नहीं पता सो coming to that scenario the thing which are uh, important in that source code is multi-agent systems how and what kind of prompt it is sending to the LLM to understand like how all things are working correct how it is handling each and every prompt, how it is handling each and every session, how it is handling multi-agent systems, like how it is querying within the multi-agent and then giving you out a response. वो खुद अंदर अंदर डिस्कस कर रहा है और फिर आंसर दे रहा है करेक्ट नाउ अदर another thing with the multi-agent system is you may have remembered about there was this case recently, probably in March or something, March or February, where agents were talking within themselves and they created a social media for them. Like they can chat with it and they can discuss in their cryptic code. Does anybody remember it? और उसमें humans का allowed नहीं था. So now, if you think how this whole learning and adaptation works, you will be able to get a perspective like how oral LLM would work if you train it really well. You may be familiar with Ultron and Jarvis and all those bunch of fictional characters, AI characters, right? What if those all fictional characters get into real life? Slowly, we are heading into that particular area where it can get real, right? Now, how exactly all this thing would work? Like we talked about fiction, we talked about real life scenarios, but how exactly this agent tech things work? We have heard about MCP, we have heard about AI, agents, and all those things. But what should I do about it? Like, I also know about dark web and deep web, but I'm not going in there, right? So how you can tune your career into this and how you can build your projects. First, let's understand how the whole architecture looks like whenever there is any kind of agentic references. It looks like first you need a reasoning engine. The reasoning engine would be more of LLM. Basically, if I want to get a reasoning engine, it is LLM, and it will be able to reason any kind of text which I'm giving, any kind of prompt which I'm giving, and it will give me out a response. But to achieve that reasoning capability, I need an adapter. Uh, if I want to charge a mobile phone, right? I have the wire. Type C है मेरे पास. बट वो चार्ज होगा नहीं होगा उसको करंट कैसे लाऊंगा यहाँ I need an adapter, right, which can go into the plug and get the electricity out of it and into a mobile phone. Similarly, here we have an adapter which could be Pydantic AI, Crew AI, LangChain, कोई भी एक framework चाहिए which I can put in and then directly start my execution. Now, Google का भी ADK है. There is also Microsoft AutoGen. You can utilize whichever you like. It doesn't matter. Each and everything which you're going to use, every framework is built on top of Pydantic. So if you have understanding about Pydantic, then you'll be able to handle any set of framework because everything works under Python. Okay, so now you need an adapter. Adapter will help you out to run all these commands smoothly and steadily. It will give you a platform where you can work on. Similarly, how you get college as a platform to learn more things, right? Now coming to the environment and actions. So agent has different set of tools. If I'm a chef and if I want to cook something, right? I need some kind of tools, right? Such as stove, gas, knife, chopping board, all those bunch of things. And in that there will be ingredients. So all those ingredients and tools are part of the environment actions. Web API, such as like when you're doing web crawling, correct, web scraping, you get the information out of a web page and try to give it as a context. Second would be databases. It could be SQL database, it could be a vector database, it could be a MongoDB, Mongo database, non-SQL database. It could be another than that, it could be Python interpreters, or there could be a physical sensors which you're getting information out of it, such as you're building some kind of IoT agents or automation, right? In there, you're getting inputs from the external sources such as temperature, water capacity, and all those bunch of things. And that's how you're getting all the environment related information into the adapter. An adapter is dependent on this information so that it can provide you a proper information out of it. Data से तो information निकाला, correct? Now, coming to the next part, we have already learned about data. Okay, there are multiple sets of data. It could be web, it could be database, it could be other things also. But how should I keep this data? Like, कहाँ store कहाँ करना है वो तो memory में RAM. If I store this into my RAM, then RAM would get chopped, and I won't be able to utilize the full power of my machine if my RAM starts choking up and it creates a problem for me. Now, here it comes to probably RAM and other memory states. Okay, there are other different kinds of memory which you can use. One of them is RAG. How exactly RAG can help you? RAG can help you to store data as a vectors. Does everybody know about eigenvalues and eigenvectors? सब thumbs up दे जिसको पता है जब जिसको नहीं पता हो thumbs down. Okay, cool. So if you remember that eigenvalues and eigenvectors, there would be a matrix with set of numbers. Correct? These numbers represent the vector of that particular text. So let's say if I'm saying I am Dishant, Okay, and there would be multiple paragraph. So let me go to my website. Let's consider this as a paragraph. Okay, Dishant is AI consultant, blah 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 blah. Now, this is about me. And if I'm storing this data, this paragraph, into converting into a vector, how I will be converting this into a vector? Does anybody remember TF, IDF, NLP के कोई भी techniques? Is anybody familiar with those terms? TF, IDF, या फिर vectorization, tokenization, or something like that? Okay. Maybe first year, second years may not be familiar with that terms, right? Devanshu? Okay. So do you want me to, which language you guys are comfortable, like Hindi, English, whichever works? Okay. Okay, no issues. Yeah, cool. So ये जो पूरा पैराग्राफ है, if I convert it into different set of words, ठीक है, निशांत गांधी इज एंड ये पूरा एक लिस्ट बन जाएगा डिफरेंट डिफरेंट वर्ड्स का, हर एक वर्ड्स का. नाउ आई विल काउंट विच वर्ड्स इज रिपीटेटिव एंड आई विल चेंज इट टू वन. I won't be repeating the same word again and again. And then I'll remove the verbs which are not useful for me. Those are not stop words. So these are the basic NLP techniques which you need to keep in mind, and that's how the whole LLM works. First, it will remove all the unnecessary words which are present. Verbs हमें काम का नहीं है. Is and ये सब auxiliaries और वो सब हमें काम की चीज नहीं है. काम की चीज ये है जो कि pronouns है, nouns है, adjectives है. Those things are much more informative for me. Sentiment analysis के टाइम पे we check for adjectives. Correct, what kind of feedback it is giving to us, good, bad, neutral, right? Now coming to the AIML consultant. AIML consultant is a position. 5 years tenure, experience, specializing. Then generative AI, it is a term. Rack pipelines, it is a term. 20 plus number, correct? Those things are important. And each and every thing which is present here gets plotted into the database by getting converted into numbers, because computer understand numbers. It does not understand any kind of values for us. Now, whenever there is a numerical area, we need to convert it into a set of TF-IDF. Now, what is that TF-IDF? I'll just quickly give you guys a brief of how it looks like. Now, here if you see blue bright can see shining skies and today, this may be a part of a particular sentence, and how it is getting tuned into numbers. First we'll check. Here it says like currently it's 1 by 2. Probably there are two instances where blue has been said. Similarly, sky. It has also been said twice, probably in that sentence. And it gives you IDF. This term frequency. TF का मतलब है term frequency. Means वो word कितनी बार वो particular sentence में repeat हुआ. IDF means anybody knows IDF? गूगल भी कर सकते हो. अच्छे से याद रहेगा फिर. Anybody? Inverse document frequency. Okay, good. How does that picture here? So now, if I want to give you an idea about how this inverse word document frequency works, पूरा जो डॉक्यूमेंट के अंदर जितनी भी उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी है ना, लेट्स से टर्म फ्रीक्वेंसी एक सेंटेंस के अंदर हो गई, पूरे डॉक्यूमेंट में वो कितनी बार रिपीट हो रहा है, आई नीड टू गेट दैट काउंट. and then divide it. I'll get a log and then I'll get a proper value out of it. So let's say basic, there are two texts out of it. Basic, is it getting repeated in the another text? No, it is not. That's why it's zero. Commands, command भी हो रहा है, so it has the same value in it. Data हो रहा है, it's same value. Similarly, LLM does the same work. Every time you send some kind of query, okay, hey, I want to learn about Agentic AI, give me a roadmap. It will try to go into that RAG database, or it will try to find somewhere what kind of data is present, convert it into numbers for itself. ये इतना fast होता है, we don't even think कि ऐसा हो रहा है पीछे. Correct. अभी each and everything happens in the back end with the neural networks and RNN, CNN, जो भी उधर हो रहा है. We are not going deeper into LLM. There would be another session completely कि like वो internally कैसे काम करता है. But here, if it finds similarity between your question and the data present, it's present there in the fine-tuned database or anywhere, it will give you the response back. That's how the overall memory works for RAG. Similarly, let's say think of it as a short-term memory. अगर मैं कुछ भी पूछूं तो मैं ईरान और इसराइल की वॉर के लिए तुरंत आंसर आएगा, करेक्ट? There won't be any kind of delay in it because you remember it from the reels and everything which you are seeing right now. It is getting feed onto the short-term memory of yours. Similarly, RAG you can consider it as a short-term memory where it is getting pulled out of it. Similarity search, correct? RAG के अंदर हम use करते हैं similarity search. Query दी, query check करके vector search किया, vector search करके हमें content आया, content आके हमने फिर chunks मिला, chunks we send it into the prompt and हमें response. See, that's simple. एजेंटिक रैग में क्या होता है? अभी तो स्टैंडर्ड रैग की मैंने बात कर ली. एजेंटिक रैग में क्या होता है? जो हमने स्टैंडर्ड रैग में जो बात की ना अभी, सिमिलर टू इट, बट हियर एजेंट हैज इट्स ओन ब्रेन. उसको खुद से पूछता है वो कि लाइक हाउ एग्जैक्टली इज दिस रेलेवेंट टू द यूजर्स क्वेश्चन. Whenever you try to utilize Crew AI, Pydantic AI, check for its logs. Okay, so when you see its log, you'll be able to understand ki, oh, this is how it's working, this is how it's thinking. Then you will be able to picture it out like, okay, so if I give this prompt with this context, it will try to think within itself like, if this content which I have received from the vector database, is it relevant to the question which user has asked to me? And if it is relevant, then it will summarize it and then give it back to you. Here it goes into dynamic loop. You just have to make sure that it does not go into infinite loop, because there are chances where you can exhaust the limit of a particular API. You may be utilizing Gemini or OpenAI, correct, for your own use, or Cloud API. But if this particular agentic RAG starts questioning itself multiple times for an infinite number, and you have kept a billing system in there, then एक दिन का $17,000 उड़ जाए. और फिर घर पे बिल आएगा और बोलेगा कि तुम्हें तो घर जाएगा करके, करेक्ट? Because this has happened in real life. This has happened with multiple organizations in the world where they did not set any kind of guardrails or rate limits for an API, and it caused them a hefty bill. So you need to make sure how much token you consume and how much agent is thinking. You just have to keep a max thinking parameter as 3 or 2 twice, so that it is not going to infinite loop. Why I'm saying this? Because to keep you safe from all those things which are happening right now. This we already talked about, like how exactly the overall pipeline looks like. You give a document, ingest it into vector database. Once you give a query to the vector database, it will give you X number of chunks or K number of chunks. We'll give that K number of chunks to LLM. LLM probably compress it and give you back a response. Now, you may be thinking like, sir, ये तो अपने text की बात की, but images, videos, audios, ये सब के लिए क्या होता है तुम्हारा? Like, whenever I give anything onto ChatGPT or Cloud Code, it also accepts images, audio, and video. So how does that work? Like how is it able to understand those things? For image, videos, and audio, if you convert video into frame, correct? There is a term as FPS, right? Frame per second. So each and every frame would be an image, correct? Anybody would say that? Am I right? In a video, if I change it to FPS, like the FPS would be 30. So there would be 30 frames per second, right? And the 30 frames, each frame would consist of one image. Is it correct? Anybody? बताओ बताओ. सो गए सब. Guys, you there? Devanshu, is everything right? So, whenever it comes to the image or video part, image gets encoded into different manner. So, let's say if I took an image, it gets converted into bytes, correct? You in every place in a computer, image is represented in bytes. So whenever you open it, you see the pixels, but each pixel could be a different set of information in itself. So to convert it into image encoding, similar to text, first you extract the information out of the image by using OCR so that you can get the content out of it. You can understand what that image is about. Once that is done, you convert that image into bytes. Bytes get converted into encoded strings, similar to what we did for the text, correct? And we whatever text we got out of that image, which explains what that image is about, similar to how the captioning works. We get those information encoded, embedded into the vector database, just like eigenvalue, eigenvectors. And that's how we store images. And this is a basic idea about multimodal systems. And similarly, we store information about tables, CSV. They all have different kind of embeddings. So you just need to make sure that those embeddings are very well encoded, and there are multiple ways to encode it. There are different encoders available for those encodings. So I would recommend you guys to have a look at it and get a good idea, good picture about those values. Now, coming to the next point, how exactly this whole uh, knowledge graph system work? You may have heard about this graphical RAG or graph RAG, correct? And there could be a knowledge graph for it. Though that's a different way to store information and do RAG on it, but it's really considered as one of the fast methods. And there's also another one which is known as re-ranking. So you need to get familiar with those about how exactly this knowledge graph works. It is more of a node structure, and each and every node is connected with each other in a simple linked list manner. And once a particular node has been queried, you can get a different tree structure out of it. So get information on this knowledge graph, graph rag, and all those things so that you can get more in-depth information, because some organization may be utilizing graph rag, some may be using re-ranking systems, some may be using a standard rag pipeline. So you need to be aware of how you are going to utilize it. Now, we already thought through of all this information in our previous slides, where we got information about how agentic works. how exactly they think, they tune themselves. But what is this React pattern or React agent which is present in Pydantic AI or any other places? So whenever there is a particular set of query which we do in agent, it needs to get a reasoning behind it. कि मुझे ये चीज पूछी है तो इसका मैं क्या करूँ, ये इन्फॉर्मेशन का हम क्या करें. Correct. It will not first try to reason it with whatever data it has. It will try to think through it कि चलो एक हाइपोथेसिस बनाते हैं, प्लान बनाते हैं कि इसके ऊपर डेटा कैसे निकाला जाए और कौन सा टूल मुझे यूज करना है ये डेटा निकालने के लिए. Once it has the plan, it tries to execute it by using a specific tool. Let's say it selected a tool called as weather API. The user has asked it कि मुझे यहाँ पे राइस शो करना है in Mumbai. Is the weather good enough that I can sow rice seeds into my soil in Mumbai currently, like today? We'll try to first check with the weather app that what is the current weather in Mumbai. Once it has an idea कि this is how the weather is, then it will go to another tool. Okay, so I got the information about weather, but is Mumbai good, has a good soil to even like it can grow rice? It needs a paddy fields, right? It needs a water base because rice needs a lot of water whenever you're growing it. So it needs to check those things. Now it will observe all the information which it has received. It will see if there is any kind of missing information. That's where the observation and reasoning comes into picture. Action already ho gaya step 2. Now again it will do the reasoning. It will try to check if anything needs a correction or I can directly give out an answer. It will give out a summarized answer. So this is how the whole looks look like. But just need to make sure, I am repeating this again, you just have to make sure that when it goes into self correction, वैसा ना कर ले कि वो सेल्फ करेक्शन वाले ही लूप पे चले जाए और वो कभी वापस ही ना आए. Because it will cost you API tokens LLM के, because it will always query LLM for any kind of decision it makes. Now what exactly you need to do for this decision matrix? There are different set of tools which you can utilize, right? अब घर पे सब सारी टूल्स तो रहते ही है, स्क्रू ड्राइवर है, नेल गन है, बहुत सारी चीजें, हैमर है. बट कौन सी चीज में मुझे क्या यूज करना है वो मुझे कैसे पता? अब रिएक्ट एजेंट कभी यूज करूँ, प्लान एग्जीक्यूशन कैसे करूँ, मल्टी एजेंट सिस्टम कैसे यूज करूँ? मल्टी एजेंट सिस्टम इज वेरी बिग टर्म. You're creating different agent for different tasks instead of creating different tasks within an agent. किसी ने देखा है, have you seen those kind of reels where a guy is a founder and he has placed 6 different agents for 6 different work in the cloud code? Does anybody remember it? Like, you should, you guys should watch those kind of reels instead of just scrolling, doom scrolling. Okay, so I'll open Cloud Code. I have my subscription, so I'll be able to show you something. Okay, so here you'll be able to see this cowork, right? This cowork helps you to create a different agents for different tasks. And if you query it, कि, hey, I want to build this particular platform for myself. I want one agent to work on front end, one to work on back end, another one work on data augmentation, data engineering. It will do all those work. You also may be familiar with OpenClaw, correct? OpenClaw करके भी है. Those are the tools which you can utilize. Now, whenever you are building some kind of data or sorry agent, you should think about how much complex you want to make or how much simple you want to make as per your budget. तो स्टार्टिंग में बजट ही नहीं रहेगा, फंडिंग ही नहीं है, तो फंडिंग नहीं है तो करे क्या? सो यू शुड यूज सिंपल रिएक्ट एजेंट, ओके, सिंपल एक्सप्लोरेशन, बहुत सारी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी नहीं है, डायनामिक रिकवरी हो जाती है, एंड it can give you better results by using research tools, and you can integrate multiple set of tools in there, such as RAG tools, weather tool, and other API connections and all those things. Then there would be plan and execute. What is this plan and execute? So it has a different set of structuring. It has multi-step task where you have not just one task but you have multiple tasks. एक टास्क हुआ, उसके बाद ये करना है, उसके बाद ये करना है, उसके बाद ये करना है. सो वंस यू हैव डन द रिसर्च, क्यूबिक ट्रेंड एनालिसिस कि अभी करंटली क्या ट्रेंड चल रहा है मार्केट में, हाउ आई कैन बिल्ड अ कंटेंट ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट. अदर एजेंट वट अनदर task would help you on all of the data. Let's say you got the research, you got the trend analysis. Now the other task would be कि okay, तो अभी ये सारी चीजें तो मिल गई, पर बनाऊं क्या? मुझे इतना चीज आता है और मैं उस पर क्या बना सकता हूँ? If you are a social media content creator, you should be able to get this kind of agent. It can be helpful for you with SEO, with trends, and all those bunch of things. So it will help you out. Now, multi-agent systems. How it can help you? Like when you should utilize it. ज़्यादा टास्क हो जाते हैं ना तब यूज करते हैं कि अब whenever you are trying with plan and execute, you think कि plan and execute तो मैंने किया, but plan and execute is taking so much time that it is consuming my whole pipeline. एक टास्क दूसरा टास्क तीसरा टास्क सब पे एक दूसरे पे इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है, डिपेंडेंट हो जाता है उस चक्कर में. वेयर मल्टी एजेंट क्या करता है, रिसर्च करेगा, तब तक ये ट्रेंड एनालिसिस भी देख लेगा, तब तक ये तीसरा एजेंट है, वो मुझे मेरे कंटेंट के ऊपर जो ऑलरेडी बनाया हुआ है, इट विल गिव मी कैप्शंस ऑन इट, इट विल गिव मी व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ट्यूनिंग आई कैन डू. सो एवरीवन इज रनिंग पैरेलल, नोबडी इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन ईच अदर. अब जब डेटा आएगा रिसर्च का, रिसर्च विल गेट फीड इनटू ट्रेंड, और ये वाला रिसर्च वाला जो स्टॉप हो जाएगा, बोलेगा अब मैं मेरा काम हो गया, अब जाता है, वैसा करके. देन दिस ट्रेंड एनालिसिस विल स्टार्ट अगेन. उसके पास तो ऑलरेडी पहले का डेटा था, उसने उस पर ट्रेंड एनालिसिस कर लिया, डेटा दे दिया, इंफॉर्मेशन दे दी, जो नया डेटा आया उसके ऊपर वो ट्रेंड एनालिसिस करेगा और रिस्पॉन्ड देगा. तब तक तुम्हारा जो कैप्शनिंग और वो सब जो चल रहा था वो चलते रहेगा. इट मे टेक अ लॉन्गर टाइम. सो दिस इज वेयर द कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोजेक्ट कैन हेल्प यू आउट. सो यू हैव टू ऑल्सो थिंक कि कौन सी चीज में क्या यूज कर सकता हूँ. एंड हर एक चीज में तुम नेल गन नहीं यूज करोगे, जहाँ पे हैमर का जरूरत है वहां पे हैमर यूज करोगे. अब तुम सिलाई करते वक्त तलवार तो नहीं यूज करने वाले, सुई यूज करोगे. सिमिलरली हियर टू, इफ यू आर गोइंग वेरी सिंपल, गो विथ रिएक्ट. नाउ मल्टी एजेंट सिस्टम पे आते हैं. एक ओवरऑल आइडिया लेते हैं कि लाइक हाउ एग्जैक्टली दिस मल्टी एजेंट सिस्टम वर्क्स. करेक्ट. यूजुअली if you're going with hierarchical worker nodes like master slave, correct, ये हमने बहुत बार सुना है ओएस में, जो कि अभी वो चीज उतनी बोली नहीं जाती मास्टर स्लेव के बारे में. there would be a supervisor which is known as master. There would be three slaves. So each and every worker node will do their own job, they do their own workflows, execute it and give it to supervisor. ये लो हो गया, आप कंपाइल करके दे दो. Another one is decentralized. डिसेंट्रलाइज मतलब क्या? अब कॉलेज में डिपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं, ये एक डिपार्टमेंट है जिसने ये वाला वर्कशॉप कंडक्ट किया. देयर कुड बी अनदर डिपार्टमेंट व्हिच इज रनिंग बिहाइंड, वो लोग अभी प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं एक पर्टिकुलर वर्कशॉप करने के लिए. और एक दूसरा डिपार्टमेंट है, वो भी वर्क कर रहा है, और वो डिपार्टमेंट का डेटा, फिर ये डिपार्टमेंट का डेटा, और जो अनदर डिपार्टमेंट बी है उसका भी डेटा, ये सारा डेटा जाता है एचओडी के पास. करेक्ट. एचओडी sees it, approves it, and then plans it. Similarly, if you are checking this decentralized one, Triage agent could be your HOD. Sales agent is one of the department you have which is conducting workshop. Refund agent would be one of the department which is planning a different workshop. And all of them are connected with a triage agent which is HOD. HOD ने अप्रूवल दिया तब इनका चलेगा इसका चलेगा वैसा होगा फिर वो जाएगा एग्जीक्यूशन मोड में कि HOD ने तो दे दिया अप्रूवल नाउ इट्स टाइम टू एग्जीक्यूट इट नीड्स टू डू द राउटिंग देयर कुड बी अनदर वे आल्सो कि हैंड ऑफ भी हो रहा है लेट्स से HOD thinks कि दिस शुड बी done by different way he brings in another person कि चेक करके बताओ क्या करना है. So this is how the overall workflow looks like when you are decentralizing. Handoff when it is usable कि जब भी let's say you are facing an issue. Zomato पे अगर तुम्हारा ऑर्डर लेट आता है और तुम्हें रिफंड चाहिए तो वो चैटबॉट का दिमाग खा जाते हो करेक्ट एंड एट द वेरी एंड इट अंडरस्टैंड्स यू आर फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड इट हैंड्स ओवर टू अ ह्यूमन एजेंट कि ये ले पकड़ इसको उसको जो चाहिए वो दे दे उसको और भगाओ इसको वैसा करके करेक्ट. So this is how the handoff works. This is known as fallback or handoff. Whenever chatbot is not able to handle your case, it will hand it over to a separate agent itself or a human. That's how the overall workflow looks like. Any questions by Nafar? You can ask. Okay. So okay, the first question was how exactly prompting is different from the React agent, correct? And how it is how React agent is more capable than prompting. So prompt will always be there, but the problem is in prompt the chat it's more of a like question पूछा answer मिला. There is no thinking, there is no observation in it, correct? So whenever you are trying to do prompting, it's just give and take. क्वेश्चन पूछा आंसर मिला वहां पे उसने कुछ सोचा नहीं कि लाइक उस पर स्टडी नहीं किया कि जो कंटेंट आ रहा है सामने से इज इट रेलिवेंट और नॉट. नाउ व्हेन इट कम्स टू रिएक्ट रीजनिंग एंड एक्टिंग फुल फॉर्म इसका ये. सो वॉट एवर यू आर आस्किंग इट गोज टू द LLM कि लाइक ओके दिस इज द क्वेश्चन आई हैव रिसीव्ड with this prompt with this context what should I do with set of tools which I have. उसके पास टूल्स रहेंगे वो टूल्स का यूटिलाइज करेगा इट विल utilize those tools give out the answer then it will study that answer if it is relevant or not. Once it is it thinks कि हाँ ये relevant है then it will give you the answer. That's how the overall flow looks like. Now the second question was how should I avoid any kind of data leaks. You need to add guardrails, you need to add validations. Let's say if a user asks this particular question which is a very confidential information I should not be answering those, correct? Yeah, you need to think of reward and penalty. जैसे हमारे बचपन में अभी भी we get reward for doing good such as pass हो जाता है अगर अच्छे मार्क्स आए तो. खराब मार्क्स आए तो फेल हो जाता है. फेल होता तो पापा मम्मी की गाली पड़ती है. दैट इज पनिशमेंट, करेक्ट? रिवॉर्ड में क्या होता है कुछ चाहिए तो मिल जाता है आईफोन चाहिए आईफोन मिल जाता है वैसा. So this is how the reward works. Similarly, you need to put some kind of reward and punishment functionality for chatbots or agents so that they don't make a mistake. Yes, yes, yes. Because there could be cases where a particular user is giving a set of image which is cryptic, which has information within that image, कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन हो, कुछ प्रॉम्प्ट हो जो जो हिडन है, because whenever image has been sent, it gets converted into bytes and then it gets sent to LLM. तो अगर वो bytes में जब convert हो रहा है, उसमें information है कोई image के अलावा, तो execute कराएगा इन केस. You should also try those things. They'll give you a good knowledge about it. Yeah. Yes. That is one of the functionality which we utilize. So yeah. Okay, let me try to find something. It may be into my different slide, just a sec. Just a sec. Okay, yeah, yeah. Now, how exactly the similarity search works? Similarity search is one of the method which you can utilize for RAG, first of all, because it is not the only one algorithm which you can use. बहुत सारी सिमिलैरिटी है, उसके अंदर भी बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. फिर there is semantic search, there is hybrid search, there is rewriting, there is knowledge graph. So there are multiple ways you can do RAG, but this is a very basic level of RAG which you are going to do. Whenever I was mentioning about TF-IDF, correct? Whatever information it gets converted into numbers, which we see in this section. Now, this particular section, which is fish, rabbit, raccoon, turtle, let's see if I denote A group, which is red, to current affairs. Green could be your syllabus. Blue could be your personal data. Let's say banking card data. Correct? Now, if I ask any set of questions related to what is the current gold price, where exactly it will go? रेड, ग्रीन या ब्लू, कौन से साइड में जाएगा? गाइस आंसर करो, सिर्फ देवांश आंसर करेगा तो नहीं चलेगा. Manudip, I'll answer a question later. First, I want answer of this, what I've asked. I'll keep that question in my mind. So if I want to get information on what is the current gold price, where exactly it will go, A, B or C, red, green या blue, कौन से उसमें जाएंगे? No idea, guys. Okay, so let me answer it for you. It will go inside blue because blue is related to banking and investment. How come it will go into be outlier? Because like there is no option for it to be an outlier. It was part of the data which we have. Now, if I want to ask about your current syllabus, let's say I want to understand about C++, where exactly it will go? Into the B, जहाँ पे green है, green वाले में मैंने store किया है सारी information related to current education, current syllabus. A, whereas, which is red, has information related to all the current affairs which is happening. If I ask about any kind of war, what was the tweet of US president, all these bunch of things, it will be present in the red. Because whatever data I fetch from the internet related to current affairs, was stored in there. That's how the overall cosine similarity works. It checks the similarity between the question and the content which is present. It will try to find similarity between the IDs right here which we have created, and it will fetch the information out. That's how the cosine similarity works. Yeah. Now, coming to the next part. The question was, who decides the orchestrator is any set of rules? Orchestration, it's on our end. How exactly you want to tune it. I'll show you the code in some time, how the whole orchestration I have done for an agent. You just have to decide what kind of engine you want to use. There was a time, probably last year, sometime, I got a project saying that, hey, I want to work on we have this particular tool and we want to tune it so that their client can work. The client can have a good agentic system. But the problem was they were utilizing uh, semantic kernel, which was an outdated tool by now. I suggested them that, hey, the tool which you are using does not have a good orchestration because it was not able to do multi-tooling. It was not able to achieve thinking part. It did not had any kind of thinking. React highly used because it was more of a prompting agent, right? So I suggested them use Pydantic AI or LangGraph, whichever works for them. But no, they just wanted to go with Symmetrical. That's where the framework ecosystem comes in. Like you may have to think like what exactly your budget is, who your partner is, and that's how you'll have to tune. Because their partner were Microsoft. And Microsoft had given them funds to use semantic curve. अब वो दूसरे पे तो जा नहीं सकते क्योंकि उनको फंड्स मिले धोखा नहीं कर सकते ना धुरंधर नहीं है बेसिकली अभी whenever you want to use any kind of orchestrator you need to think of your budget what kind of language you're comfortable with, how much token you can utilize. As for that, you need to think. Because Pydantic and LangGraph में difference ये आएगा कि let's say LangGraph is very system heavy. It can hang your system with basic let's say if you're familiar with AWS तो वहाँ पे T2 medium है T2 micro है और small भी है correct. So now if you're planning to use small machine for lag graph, it may not work. Whereas for Pydantic, it may work. This is just an hypothesis. I'm not giving you an actual real life example. Giving you a scenario where the cases would be lag graph may work in some time, Pydantic may not work. So you need to think कि कौन सा चल रहा है, कौन सा यूज करूँ और किसका इंटेलिजेंट अच्छा है. अब यहाँ पे देखो, we can see core strength for each of them. It has good amount of intelligence, whereas Pydantic. Whereas for line graphs, it is very stateful. It has good memory. It can retain the whole memory of it. It can build workflows, has a set of checkpoints where you can go, and it also has human in loop, such as like fallback या handoff जो करना है वो कर सकते हैं. Features for Pydantic. It has a good thinking ability, correct? We need to provide it a task key you need to do a handoff at this certain point in time. Whereas for LangGraph, it may be it knows when to do. So there are different capabilities. You need to think कि कौन सा मुझे कभी काम आएगा. So which kind of framework I should use. When when let's say you are going out of both of the things you want to choose crew AI. अब crew AI का completely different method है. It creates a crew. It has a task. Each crew has a different set of tasks and it can do some kind of automation for you. It has an automation task. You cannot think of it as a chatbot. It is more of an automation agent. तुम्हें चीजें निकाल के दे सकता है वो अच्छे से. Crew लगा दिया. It is doing set of tasks and it will give you an output. for that task. And it and hook. It is a workflow management. You can add a workflow for it. Correct? So those things are different set. You need to understand which tool to use, which framework to use for which purpose. So it's us who decide which orchestrator to use if you are an engineer, if you are a developer. Now, coming to the safety and governance part, we all have this issue right now where the governance issue is there. There's also validation issue. So back in the day, like 2, 3 years, 5 years ago, whenever you want to do any kind of safety check or validation, we used to add regex, we used to do entity extraction, intent identification, all those bunch of things. But those were very unpredictable. Like कल को कोई हैकर है वो कुछ अलग ही लेके आ गया खुद की बुद्धि चला के जो कि अभी भी होता है it's not something we can handle even right now. Everyone has a creativity, everyone has their own creative minds, so you need to think of your own creative way to add a set of governance safety governance. There are also right now there are certifications. You can also get into AI. That's one of the things which you can get into. And it's really trending right now. So if you're planning to go into AI, but you are not interested in building chatbots or agents, then you can try to defend it or do an offense. Like you can build some kind of tools which will help organization to avoid any kind of problems. Offensive tools. If you are familiar with cyber security, you may be familiar with offense and defense, blue team, red team, purple team, correct? Purple is more like gray area where you also defend, where you also uh, offend a particular tool or software. Second, go with those areas also. There are multiple ways to achieve a set of problems, and in the agentic way, you need to make sure that the tokens which you are using, you're not consuming a lot because you need to be very mindful of utilizing your tokens even while you're testing it. So you can also build a system which which can make sure that if there is an attack and it goes beyond these tokens, then it consider this as an attack. This is it may not be uh, a proper prompting. It may be directly an attack to the AI tool which you're using. To so the software engineering, but you want to build a tool which can do all the software engineering part, जो developers की job खाएगा, correct? जैसे cloud code. Now you can create a whole architecture first, and then create an agent which will be having different set of personas, which can do architecture level designing, code reviews, and even become a coder itself. That's one of the things which you can build. Another is in healthcare. Healthcare, we see a lot of problems where, though in India we have a lot of doctors, we have a lot of engineers, but the problem is whenever there is a government issue, like government hospitals, they don't have enough facility for doctors to go there every time. So you can probably have a set of agent uh, which will be able to help to diagnose people whenever there is no doctor present at a particular location. Not for a serious case, but for a mild issue. Let's say कोई patient आया and he has some kind of fever or cold issue, right? So उसके लिए तो थोड़ा बहुत मेडिसिन या कुछ भी दे सकते हैं, correct? So that patient data will be ran into the system. उसके बाद डायग्नोसिस करेंगे, ब्लड टेस्ट या कुछ भी रिपोर्ट्स आए वो, एंड इट विल प्रपोज अ ट्रीटमेंट बिकॉज प्रोबेबली गाँव वालों को उतना अच्छे से एआई यूज करने आए नहीं. So there would be an assistant present there. It will be human based, not completely like उनको ही चैट करना है उसमें और आंसर करना है. वो तो चैटबॉट भी कर लेता है, चैट जीपीटी भी कर लेता है, क्लाउड कोड भी कर देगा, इंफॉर्मेशन दे देगा. But here there needs to be human involvement, where the human will give out the answers, and then उसके हिसाब से फिर इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी कि उसको क्या करना है. Then there could be customer and revenue operations. Ops के लिए HRMS. Whereas in HRMS there are set of problems which everybody faces. Every HR faces this issue. Nearly every year, हर एक सीजन में जब भी लोग पास आउट होते हैं, they get lakhs of resume for a particular single job opening. ठीक है, वो सिंगल जॉब ओपनिंग के लिए लाखों रेज्यूमे है, उसमें से कितनों में मैं घुसूं और चेक करूं. Correct. There could be in the HRMS there could be a tool which they can use for their own good कि ये पर्टिकुलर कैंडिडेट्स हैं जो कि शॉर्टलिस्ट किए गए हैं. They have good amount of experience with this particular job description, and you can contact them. And वो HRMS के अंदर ही सारे इंटरव्यूज AI लेगा, लाइक स्टार्टिंग के जो शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग वाले जो रहते हैं वो, and then it will shortlist them and give it to HR कि हाँ इसको कॉल करो, ये अच्छा लगा कैंडिडेट. Then there could be social and cultural simulation. अब you want to do a survey for starting a shop for a set of location, let's say my location where I'm staying. In this particular location, everybody is rich. Let's consider that. Now everybody has a good enough amount of bank balance, good amount of houses and all those things. So you want to start a classes here. To do a social survey, you need a person, right? But what if you have enough data on the internet कि ये पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन पे कौन कौन रहता है, कैसे लोग रहते हैं, क्या रहते हैं, क्या मैं यहाँ पे मेरी शॉप ओपन कर सकता हूँ, मेरे क्लासेस ओपन कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं, और यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा कल्चरल इशू तो नहीं आएगा मुझे जो कि इट कैन हैम्पर माय गुडविल. So you utilize this agent, create a different personas and create a different set of theories कि अगर ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा क्या हो सकता है, वो इसके सिनेरियो क्या आ सकता है, and everything like that. So these are a few things you can utilize for your good. And now let's go to our coding. This is a simple application which I have built, and this is the agent which I hope you are able to see this screen clearly. If you are not, let me know. I'll zoom in, guys. Jaldi jaldi बोलो. Visible? Good. Good. So here I have used Pydantic AI, of course. So, and for image, I'm using Pillow. Pillow is a library which you can utilize for image extraction, con converting an image to bytes. This is a very basic agentic AI where it does a research, gathers the information, maybe by using images, researching the web, researching documents, and loading the documents as a summary out of it, right? And here, if you see a prompt, it has a it has a pattern to it. See, सबसे पहली चीज क्या दी है मैंने उसे, persona दिया है सबसे पहली लाइन. Then I have provided a set of tools. Set of tools are kind of content for it. Like ये मेरे पास content है, इसका utilization करना है. Then instruction कि ये जो चीजें मैंने तुम्हें दी है उसका क्या करना है. Now all these things together create a prompt. Similarly, I've also added trend system prompt where I've given it a set of instructions saying that you are social media trend analyst. तुम्हें निकालने ट्रेंड्स कहाँ से, रेडिट से, ट्विटर से, लिंक्डइन से, और सारे ट्रेंड्स को कंपेयर करके मुझे आंसर देना है. वो आंसर क्या होना चाहिए इंस्ट्रक्शन में दिया है कि क्या हैशटैग्स है, क्या नैरेटिव आ रहा है, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म, ईच एंड एवरी प्लेटफॉर्म की मुझे समरी दो, फिर हर एक प्लेटफॉर्म में से कंपेयर करो ट्रेंड क्या आ रहा है, एंड गिव मी अ डिटेल अबाउट कि लाइक कभी ये फेच हुआ था, एक टाइम स्टैम्प रहना चाहिए. करेक्ट, लाइक व्हाट वाज द डेट एंड टाइम व्हेन दिस पर्टिकुलर ट्रेंड वाज बीन फेच्ड. नाउ दिस सिंथेसाइजेस, अभी जो ये दोनों चीजें हुई और रिसर्च और ट्रेंड, इन दोनों का सिंथेसिस निकालना है, लाइक छोटा सा ब्रीफ इंफॉर्मेशन निकालनी है फॉर द यूजर कि हाँ चलो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं which I have found out from this particular research and social media trends. And by looking at it, these are my key takeaways, key research highlights. और ये जो ट्रेंड है ना इतना ये चीज़ के लिए है, and you should have a look at it. What should be the next recommended steps? Okay. And I have also added one more thing. Do not invent information which is not present in the input. अब LLM तो है, उसको तो पता नहीं कि मुझे खुद से इंफॉर्मेशन भी देनी है कि नहीं. So there would be cases where तुम्हें इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं मिला and it will try to figure it out itself कि मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी कि तुम्हें फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही है. दैट्स व्हाई आई एडेड वन गार्ड रेल सेंटेंस कि एक खुद से इंफॉर्मेशन मत डिस्कवर कर लेना, वरना फीड काफी डिफरेंट हो जाएगी. तो ऐसे. हाँ. सिंथेसिस का प्रॉम्प्ट टेम्पलेट ये रहा, अ कंप्लीट टेम्पलेट. ओके. कि ऊपर तो ये सिर्फ एक प्रॉम्प्ट है, सिस्टम प्रॉम्प्ट है. But here this is a prompt template where the topic is given by the user. रिसर्च का फाइंडिंग्स ऐड किया है मैंने, रिसोर्स टाइप और रिसर्च की समरी, सोर्सेज के कंसल्टेंट कहाँ से उससे सोर्सेज मिले हैं, कौन से सोर्सेज थे ये. फिर सोशल मीडिया ट्रेंड, ट्रेंड के प्लेटफॉर्म्स, ट्रेंड का वॉल्यूम क्या था, ट्रेंड कहाँ से फेच किया. यू कैन ऑल्सो गेट अ ट्रेंड्स फ्रॉम गूगल ट्रेंड्स, उसका एपीआई यूज कर लोगे वहां से भी ट्रेंड्स मिल जाएंगे. बट सोशल मीडिया ट्रेंड्स काफी डिफरेंट होता है. It gives you more hand on like what is currently going on. अब तुम्हारा टास्क ये है कि सिंथेसाइज करो, ब्रीफ रिस्पॉन्स बताओ ये पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे. राइट फॉर एन informed non-specialist. I may not be specialist in that trend, but I want to get the information. Be concrete, प्रॉपर से जो भी फाइंडिंग्स मिले वो बनाओ और जनरेट करो. नाउ पाइडेंटिक के अंदर है ना मॉडल्स ऐसे बनते हैं, वेर यू प्रोवाइड अ डॉग स्ट्रिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये वाला एरिया इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये क्या चीज के लिए. फिर यू प्रोवाइड डिस्क्रिप्शन फॉर ईच एंड एवरी फील्ड कि इसका मीनिंग क्या है, ये क्या चीज करता है. रिसोर्स टाइप में क्या आना चाहिए, प्राइमरी सोर्स, इन चारों में से कोई एक सोर्स रहना चाहिए एज अ टाइप. समरी, समरी का मीनिंग क्या होता है, सो दैट वेन यू आर गिविंग इट टू एलएलएम तो उसे पता हो कि ये पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में मुझे क्या इंफॉर्मेशन डालनी है. रिसर्च की डिपेंडेंसीज, यहाँ पे आता है रिसर्च की हिस्ट्री, लोड डॉक्यूमेंट्स. हियर यू डोंट नीड डिस्क्रिप्शन because this is a dependency. Here it will get the documents and the research history whatever it did earlier. So this is how it will help you to get this result. For result you need to provide enough documentation. Then comes trend post. अब हर एक पोस्ट जो रहता है रेडिट पे, लिंक्डइन पे, वो कैसे निकालना है, उसका टाइटल रहेगा, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म से है, उसका यूआरएल क्या है, उसका स्कोर क्या है, कौन से सब रेडिट से है, नंबर ऑफ कमेंट्स कितने हो उसके, तो उससे पता चलता है ना कि कितना फेमस हो रहा है वो. एक पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट के अंदर 1000 कमेंट्स है, एक पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट के अंदर एक कमेंट है, तो कौन सा फेमस हुआ, 1000 वाला. करेक्ट. तो वैसे ही वो ट्रेंड एनालिसिस उस हिसाब से करेगा ना कि लाइक आई हैव दिस टॉपिक व्हिच यूजर हैज गिवन, प्लेटफॉर्म सर्च, top posts, top hashtags, platform summaries, will generate summary from each and every post. एंड उसको वॉल्यूम निकालेगा कि ये डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया है कि वायरल है, हाई है, मॉडरेट है, लो है, क्या है उस हिसाब से. डिस्क्रिप्शन में निकालेगा कि रेडिट पे ये आया था, ट्विटर पे ये आया था, उस हिसाब से. अब बात आई ब्रीफ रिस्पॉन्स, ये जो हमारा जो रिस्पॉन्स आ रहा है वो क्या है एग्जैक्टली. तो ब्रीफ रिस्पॉन्स जो रहेगा वो रहेगा टॉपिक, कि ये टॉपिक जो यूजर ने दिया था वो, उसमें ब्रीफ मैंने जो बनाया है वो कि 3-4 पैराग्राफ का, वो एक रिसर्च और ट्रेंड्स का मिला के एक अच्छा सा पैराग्राफ बनाएगा, 3-4 पैराग्राफ कि ये है. फिर उसमें से वो निकालेगा की टेक अवेज, लाइक गिव मी अ 3 to 5 स्टैंडअलोन एक्शनेबल बुलेट पॉइंट्स कि मुझे आगे करना क्या चाहिए। एजेंट किया है तो मुझे करना है, बट उसके ऊपर क्या, कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, कि मुझे सीखना है तो हाउ शुड आई लर्न इट। देन ट्रेंड हाईलाइट्स कि अब ये ट्रेंड इतना बढ़ रहा है, उस पर एग्जैक्टली क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं, कैसे काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट बना सकता हूँ कि मेरा भी कंटेंट जो है वो ट्रेंडिंग में आ सके। अभी नेक्स्ट स्टेप्स कुड बी लाइक कॉन्करिंग 3 4 पॉइंट्स कि ये जो ट्रेंड्स हो रहे हैं उसके ऊपर मैं आगे क्या कर सकता हूँ। जैसे मुझे प्रोजेक्ट बनाना है, तो प्रोजेक्ट के लिए मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ वो चीज़ों के लिए, या फिर मुझे एक रील बनानी, तो रील के लिए क्या कर सकता हूँ, कौन सा कंटेंट उठा के यहाँ पे डाल सकता हूँ। फिर आते हैं यूटिलिटी फंक्शन। यूटिलिटी फंक्शन वुड बी पीडीएफ, पीडीएफ से टेक्स्ट एक्सट्रैक्ट करो, पीडीएफ से बाइट एक्सट्रैक्ट करो, देन search from web. I'm using currently DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo I'm using for fetching the details from the web. Then I'm doing the chunking. यहाँ पे देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे सेंटेंस को स्ट्रिप कर रहा हूँ, फिर वो सेंटेंस में से मैं चंक्स निकाल रहा हूँ, हर एक को ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ उनके आईडी के साथ, एंड देन आई एम समराइजिंग इट एंड pulling it into the chunks. Now everybody is familiar with ChromaDB, correct? ChromaDB is a vector store. It helps you to store vector database, vector related indexes. So whatever chunks I have fetched, I'm adding it into the vector database as a vectors. Now fetch Reddit post. This is a private function. ये क्या कर रहा है कि हर एक सब रेडिट में जाके उसका हॉट डॉट जेसन मतलब जो ट्रेंडिंग है वो निकाल रहा है, और वहाँ पे सर्च करके भी निकाल रहा है कि कौन सा चीज करेंटली आज के दिन में ट्रेंड में चल रहा है वो सब रेडिट में। Because nowadays I have seen Reddit is peak for getting information. If you want to get information on side projects, go to side projects Reddit. वहाँ पे इतने अच्छे अच्छे side projects आते हैं. You can even build it for your competition. जैसे hackathon में जाना है, वहाँ से उठाओ side project, the topic यहाँ पे build करना शुरू करो। AI तो है ही build करने के लिए, तो इसलिए वॉल्यूम एस्टिमेट निकाल रहे, टोटल रिजल्ट 5 आए तो लो है, रिजल्ट 15 आए तो मॉडरेट है, 30 आया तो फिर चल रहा है हाई, और उसके अलावा कुछ भी आया, उसके ऊपर 30 के ऊपर आया कुछ भी तो हो गया, मस्त वायरल है। देन देयर इज अ ट्रेंड एनालिसिस कि वो ट्रेंड एनालिसिस कैसे कर रहा है, आई एडेड द यूटिलिटी फंक्शन के बिल्ड ट्रेंड एनालिसिस, गेट द ट्विटर रिजल्ट, लिंक्डइन रिजल्ट, फिर रेडिट के पोस्ट निकालना है। सो एवरीथिंग गेट्स इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर मॉडल की ट्रेंड एनालिसिस का मॉडल बनाया मैंने, उसमें पुल करते जा रहा हूँ और ऐड करते जा रहा हूँ। रिसर्च डॉक्यूमेंट्स, अगर मैंने कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट डाले हैं तो पहले तो उससे निकालेगा डेटा। रिसर्च वेब, इट विल फेच डेटा फ्रॉम वेब, एनालाइज इमेज, इफ आई एडेड एनी काइंड ऑफ इमेज इट विल एनालाइज, तो उसकी समरी निकालेगा। फिर फेच रेडिट ट्रेंड्स, कि जो रेडिट के जो भी ट्रेंड्स है ना वो निकालना है, तो वो कैसे निकालेगा, ये पूरा कोड है उसके लिए। यू कैन, आई विल शेयर दिस कोड ऑन गिटहब, I'll share the link after this call with Devanshu. Devanshu will forward it on your group, and you will be able to have access to this whole code. But why I'm showing you this code and not letting you do hands-on, because this is a very thing which AI can also do. You need to learn the concepts. Right now, if you don't know the concept, you know coding. Coder हर कोई AI भी coder है. हमें developer बनना है. We should be able to develop things out of blue. अब हैकर जो रहता है वो टूल से बनता है या खुद से टूल्स बना के बनता है हैक करने के लिए। मिस्टर रोबोट देखा है? या अब स्पाइडरमैन तो देखा रहेगा, इफ यू आर नथिंग विदाउट द सूट देन यू शुडंट हैव इट, लाइक वी नो दोस वर्ड्स राइट। सो अगर तुम सिर्फ टूल से ही डिपेंडेंट हो तो फिर तुम डेवलपर नहीं हो, तुम कोडर हो। अगर तुम डेवलपर बनना चाहते हो तो फिर यू नीड टू लर्न हाउ टू यूटिलाइज वॉट एवर यू हैव एंड डेवलप समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट। ये कोड तो हर कोई अब तक कर पा रहा है, पर जॉब किसको मिल रही है, या जो एंटरप्रेन्योर का स्टार्टअप कौन खोल पा रहा है, जो खुद से कुछ अलग से डेवलप कर रहा है, प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट ही कर रही है। किसी ने सोचा था कि डिलीवरी इतने टाइम में आ जाएगी, ब्लिंकिट, जेप्टो और ये सब आएगा। तो प्रॉब्लम तो एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रही थी, सब तो जा रहे थे लोकल जनरल शॉप में जाके लेके आते थे। बट प्रॉब्लम बनाई कि मुझे आ रहा है, मुझे आलस आ रही है, तो मैं हैप्पी बना देता हूँ, डिलीवरी एजेंट आएगा मुझे घर पे ये चीज़ छोड़ के जाएगा। करेक्ट। एंड इट बूम्ड कि हाँ चलो हो गया काम। उबर, रैपिडो, बाइक वाला कॉन्सेप्ट। हम तो रिक्शा पकड़ते थे कि 26 रुपए में रिक्शा पहुंचा देंगे, पर बाइक तो है। करेक्ट। अब मुझे सिंगल जाना है तो मुझे 3 वाली रिक्शा तो कर ही नहीं है, तो मैं बाइक पे जा सकता हूँ। सो यू शुड थिंक आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स कि हाँ ये प्रॉब्लम है, मुझे फेस हुई है, मैं कर सकता हूँ। दैट्स हाउ यू कैन बिल्ड। सो कोड कुछ नहीं रहा अभी। दिस समथिंग लाइक AI can write, and to be honest, this part of it has been written by AI, and part of it is written by me. So that's why I'm saying like boilerplate नहीं मिलेगा तुम्हें कोड अब AI से उतना तो. So learn about the concepts like how you can build it. Now here it's compare trends across the platform. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. So yeah, so the trend analysis part is something which I have thought. If you want to do trend analysis, earlier this was more of a research agent which gave me research data. Let's say if I want to do some kind of research on it and get information out of it, it was majorly about that. But now I change it to trend analysis कि अभी currently trends क्या चल रहा है, मुझे गूगल ट्रेंड्स पे जाके information मिलती है थोड़ी बहुत. I also have different set of tools. I'll show you. ये देख रहा है keyword surf. This gives me information like let's say if I search this, I'll go here. I search agents. Yeah. दिख रहा है यहाँ पे ये दिख रहा है, ये दिख रहा है कितना कॉस्ट पर क्लिक आ रहा है सबको. फिर देर इज कीवर्ड सर्च, इट गिव्स मी इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन विच काइंड ऑफ कीवर्ड्स आई कैन यूटिलाइज. दिस इज एन एक्सटेंशन which is available in the market. And it also gives me information on which links have been clicked, how many times, and what is the data of them. Okay, how many times that particular keyword has been used. Here, agents has been used in each and every platform. यहाँ पे agents नहीं use हुआ, so zero. But यहाँ पे इतने click rates हैं. Gives me all this information. Now, that's just one extension. But what if I want to build a content out of it? वो ट्रेंड्स के ऊपर मुझे ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए, मैं हर एक रेडिट पे जाके, सब रेडिट पे जाके सर्च तो करने बैठूंगा नहीं. सो दिस इज समथिंग आई बिल्ट माई सेल्फ कि हाँ चलो ये करते हैं. बट द कोड पार्शली वॉज रिटन बाई AI. क्लाउड कोड को दिया, क्लाउड कोड ने पूरा कोड लिख के दे दिया कि UI पे काम मुझे ज़्यादा नहीं करना, UI तो सिंपल है. स्ट्रिपलेट का UI डाल दिया, ग्रेडियो का UI डाल दिया, दैट्स इट. बट द ब्रेन बिहाइंड इट कि लाइक इसका एजेंट ऐसे काम करना चाहिए, इसका एजेंट ऐसे काम करना चाहिए, डेटा यहाँ से आना चाहिए. आई नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. अगर मैं नॉन डेवलपर हूँ, आई जस्ट रिलाई कंप्लीटली ऑन AI टू डू ऑल द स्टफ, देन वो बॉयलर प्लेट कोड दे दिया, एरर प्रोन कोड दे दिया, आई वोंट नो अबाउट इट. आई शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि उसने जो कोड दिया है, इट इज गुड इनफ एंड इट इज ऑप्टिमाइज्ड, कि वो ज़्यादा मेमोरी भी नहीं खाएगा. दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव टेकन केयर ऑफ. ओके, एंड यू शुड ऑल्सो. Here now, I'll go directly to the demo part because we don't have much time left. So here, this is a simple demo. I'm duplicate this slide to show you guys how it looks like. So I actually searched Agentic AI and its implementation. First, it started with research. वेब से निकाला क्योंकि मेरे पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स दिए नहीं थे इसे. उसे वेब से निकाले 15 सोर्सेस. देन इट गॉट इनटू ट्रेंड कलेक्शन. रेडिट से 10 पोस्ट निकाले, ट्विटर से 5, लिंक्डइन से 5, और वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा हाई था. और हैशटैग निकाले नेक्सस 2026. ब्रीफ रेडी कर दी उसने, इतने कैरेक्टर्स और 3 की टेबल्स. टेक अवे ये रहा है, रिकमेंडेशन स्टेप्स ये रहा है, और ट्रेंड की डिटेल इसने मस्त तरीके से मुझे दी कि लाइक
हॉट टॉपिक्स क्या चल रहे हैं, टॉप डिस्कशन क्या चल रहा है कि लाइक व्हाई एवरी एआई एजेंट नीड्स अ क्विल स्विच। ये हमने अभी जस्ट बात की कि इनफाइनाइट लूप का इशू आ जाता है। इट कीप्स ऑन थिंकिंग इन इटसेल्फ, करेक्ट। देन देयर इज गूगल डीप माइंड पेपर आ गया है, Revil's website that can detect agentic AI visits and serve complete different. फिर tackle how I was gonna implement passenger seats and its AI starlets. अभी ट्विटर की बात, IBM लेटेस्ट प्लेबुक आ गई एजेंटिक एआई पे। एजेंटिक एआई फाइनली हियर, उसका पोस्ट दे दिया उसने। लिंक्डइन के ऊपर टॉपिक्स जैसे कि लर्न एजेंटिक एआई विद माय न्यू कोर्स डीप लर्निंग एआई, इंट्रो इंच का पोस्ट है। और ये सब ट्रेंडिंग जा रहा है। नेक्सस 2026 इज द ट्रेंडिंग हैशटैग फॉर यू टू कीप। तो ये सारी चीज़ें तुम्हें ट्रेंड के लिए दी। फिर रिसर्च, रिसर्च के अंदर तुम्हें सोर्सेज दे रहा है कि कहाँ से उसने सोर्सेज निकाले, कौन से रिसर्च पेपर से उसने इन्फॉर्मेशन निकाली। करेक्ट, देखो आरविक्स, आरविक्स से रिसर्च पेपर मिल जाता है। करेक्ट। हाँ, यू कैन ऑल्सो बिल्ड समथिंग लाइक दिस कि पूरा एक रिसर्च एनालिसिस किया, उस पर ट्रेंड निकाला कि इफ यू वांट टू डू सम काइंड ऑफ रिसर्च फाइनल ईयर में या तुम्हारे पीएचडी में मास्टर्स में, दे थिंक ऑफ लाइक क्रिएटिंग दिस एजेंट कि भी करंट ट्रेंडिंग टॉपिक क्या है एंड हाउ लॉन्ग इट विल बी ट्रेंडिंग। लेट्स से 1 साल 2 साल, क्योंकि रिसर्च फटाक से तो अप्रूव नहीं होती। करेक्ट। हाँ, तो जब तक तो रिसर्च अप्रूव करवाने जाते हो, वो किसी ने ऑलरेडी इन्वेंट कर दिया होता है, तुम्हारी रिसर्च इनवैलिड हो जाती है फिर। करेक्ट। सो यू कैन यूटिलाइज दिस काइंड ऑफ एजेंट फॉर योर सेल्फ। हियर आई हैव यूज्ड क्वेन 3.5 लेटेस्ट। क्यों? उसका भी रीजन है, आई विल शो यू समथिंग। सारे मॉडल्स में ट्वेन 3.5 इज रियली गुड इन टर्म्स ऑफ विजन, टूल्स एंड थिंकिंग। उसके पास तीनों कैपेबिलिटी है। अब जेमा 4 भी आ गया है वो पर्टिकुलर एरिया में। दिस इज वेरी रिसेंट, जेमा 4। अभी मैं वर्कशॉप ले रहा हूँ, उसके लास्ट वीक जेमा 4 ने ये चीज़ रिलीज। इट इज एबल टू डू थिंकिंग, टूलिंग, विजन, और उसमें ऑडियो भी है। तो एजेंट वर्कफ्लो और सिंपल कर दिए गूगल ने निकाल के, एंड इज वेरी लाइट वेट। यू कैन ऑलवेज look at it. But while I was creating the slides and content for this workshop, Win 3.5 is really good at vision, tools and thinking. उसका जो information आता है सुपर ऑसम, लाइक लामा, फिर डीप सीक, ये सब फेल हो जाते थोड़े बहुत उसके अंदर, तो इसलिए। Now coming to Gemma 4, you can always use with Cloud Code, and these are the application it shows you where you can utilize it. You can also see size कितना है उसका, E to B, and you can always see like what kind of functionality it has and how you can utilize it. On device कैसे चलेगा, कितना system requirement है, you can always see. like vector parameters, edge performance, edge devices पे कैसे चलेगा. Think of it as like try quantizing. So one more thing I would recommend you guys is try creating Android applications which can run this kind of models locally on Android या iOS. There are research which is happening, but it is not very well done. Like they are still researching on कि एंड्रॉयड एप्लीकेशंस कैसे रन करेंगे, एंड्रॉयड ऐप, एंड्रॉयड मोबाइल पे, बिकॉज वहाँ पे लिमिटेशंस आ जाता है कि लाइक 8 GB मेमोरी है, 6 GB मेमोरी है। करेक्ट। सो यू नीड टू ऑप्टिमाइज इट, यू नीड टू क्वांटाइज द मॉडल। सो थिंक अबाउट इट, create something out of the box, because let's say everybody would love to have a caption generating model, फिर वीडियो के लिए कोई मॉडल जो कि मेरे पास बंच ऑफ वीडियोस है, उसमें से निकाल के दे कि पूरा एक फिल्म बना के दे दे। करेक्ट। जो इन शॉर्ट और बाकी सारे कैप कट ये सब करते हैं, विच यू हैव टू डू इट मैन्युअली। कि मुझे एक रील बनानी है, रील शूट की है, मुझे बंच ऑफ वीडियोस है, मुझे अरेंज कर दे उसे, तो कैसे करूँ? यू कैन यूटिलाइज समथिंग लाइक दिस। करेक्ट। क्रिएट अ काइंड ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट giving you some ideas in utilize. Now, this was about the models and this was about the performance of it. how exactly you can drive your career into AI, roadmap.sh. Does anybody know about this site? Everybody familiar? Yeah. So here you can get each and every roadmap of what you can do. It's more of a role based, skill based. तुम्हें कोई लैंग्वेज आती है उसके हिसाब से क्या कर सकते हो and what exactly you can do more into AI. Let's say if I go into AI engineer, okay, AI engineer का उसने रोड मैप दे दिया कि क्या कर सकते हैं LLMs के ऊपर दे दिया कि like how exactly LLMs can work, what is what all things you can do for React agent, zero shot, few shot, all this prompting, memories के बारे में उसने दे दिया, models कैसे कर सकते हो, self hosted, closed source, open source, each and everything you can utilize it from here. एकदम सिंपल, एकदम सादा AI agents के ऊपर भी आ गए, correct? Multi-agent systems and all these things. Now, how you can utilize your skills? Does anybody know about this site, National Internship Portal? This is by Government of India. I'll log in and show you. Just a second. Logged in, correct? Let's see, I'm currently enrolled in ServiceNow Virtual Internship Program. ServiceNow बड़ा नाम है, correct? अब तुम्हें भी internship करनी है, तुम्हें भी करना है internship करना है. Let's click on government internships. Let's see here. They give you stipend for as per your qualification. मेरा masters हो रहा है. If I go to my profile, you can see it shows I'm currently doing MCA from Manipal University, Jaipur, and I'm currently third semester, second year. Okay, and if you are currently in bachelor's, you can directly add it here, and it'll show you each and every internship in private, government, anywhere you like. You can apply for it, and you can get into it. तुम्हें shortlist करके they will give you the internship. Now, a private में जाना. So you can go here onto this portal, click on your city, let's say Raipur, search. Raipur में जो भी internships हो रही है, it'll give you even the virtual ones. So here you can find all the internships from each and every platform, each and every. If I remember correctly, January or Feb में ना Google के cohorts निकले थे, Microsoft के cohorts निकले थे for internships. It gave you certifications of their courses, and also government gives you certification. गवर्नमेंट का सर्टिफिकेट आता है कि तुमने यहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप किया, प्लस गूगल का सर्टिफिकेट भी आता है कि तुमने गूगल में इंटर्नशिप की. सो यू गेट टू सर्टिफिकेट्स. Along with that, you also learn those courses which they provide, which is usually paid, but they give you for free. So it was happening back in January and February. So always go onto this site. I'll share the links right here. Share. These are ran by government. So yeah, you can visit it. Then there is another one. Let me find. I just got it today. It's by Aadhaar UIDI. Let me try to find it and I'll share the link. This is an internship provided by UIDI government.in, which is for Aadhaar, right? You can also do it here. There's a form. You can apply for it. You still are under the deadline, so you don't have to worry about it. So I'll share this link too with you guys. You'll have a look at it. It's really good, and
And coming to the job, like once you graduate, what where exactly you can apply, how to apply. Uh, National E-Government Division. So let me go to my LinkedIn. I'll show you something. If you are into government jobs, then I will recommend you this pages to follow. If you are more of a private guy, then I'll also show you something for private organization where you can go in. This page posts hiring for any GD, National E-Government Division, and there you can be part of government organizations as a technical architect. Even like every week there is some kind of post which you can see. So I'll show you a few more. See a content writer, social media guy. Then there was another post about full-time full stack developers. There's the senior AI ML engineer. See here there was another one which was about full-time. So if I go here, I'm able to find a link. Just a sec. New job. It's outdated, so I won't be able to see it. Click here, latest one. Scan the QR code. So go here onto this site, go to divisions, I'll be able to see each and every division of it. Then projects, I'll be able to see all the projects which are present under this particular division in about us. Then there is career section also. Just a second. Yeah, here it is, careers. Click on careers, you'll be able to see lot of openings. If you're an Android mobile developer, you can join in here. Full stack developer can join in here. Junior software developer. So you can be part of government of India, central government, not the state. So yeah, you can try this. Now coming to private entities, how exactly you can get in those. So first, I would recommend do those internships. Correct. Once you're done with the internship, try connecting with people onto the community events. Not the community events which I go in. It's more of a speaking sessions. The community events which happen, such as KubeCon. अब क्यूबकॉन हो रहा है मुंबई में. So I'll be part of this event as an attendee, let's say. And as an attendee, I'll be able to meet multiple people who are master in their league. Okay, there could be founders, there could be CTO, CEO, each and everyone. So you need to connect with them. Connect करो, normal chit chat करो उनके साथ. Connect with their wife. And similarly, you'll be able to see कि wow, this is something great. Like we have something in common. My skill can help them to grow much better in their organization. उनका let's say product है. They want to grow, but they don't know how to. But you know how to. You can pitch them कि मुझे ये आता है. I can give you a brief session on it. I'll charge X amount. If you are interested, you can connect with me on LinkedIn और LinkedIn अच्छा करो. LinkedIn काफी बेहतर करो. People should know you बायो लिंक्डइन कि हाँ ये कोई बंदा है करके इसको मैं रीच आउट कर सकता हूँ चीज़ों के लिए इस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ों के लिए हियर यू नीड टू गेट एंडोर्समेंट सो यू कैन आल्सो गिव मी एंडोर्समेंट आफ्टर दिस सेशन व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज एंडोर्समेंट लाइक यू कैन गिव मी recommendations हियर कि इसका आई रियली लाइक योर सेशन एंड you can give your thoughts basically like how exactly you liked it what was the thought कैसा लगा पूरा सेशन क्या सीखने को मिला all these things you can add it here in the recommendation part. And you can also ask other people to give you recommendation. Let's say your professors. Your professors can also give you some recommendations. You can also give your friends some kind of recommendation by let's say आप दोनों ने एक बड़े प्रोजेक्ट पे काम किया और आप एक दूसरे को उसके ऊपर रिकमेंडेशन दे सकते हो कि इसने कैसे काम किया इसने कैसे काम किया तुम्हें कितना मजा आया काम करके वो सब चीज़ें
because recommendation and endorsement will bring you up onto the search. जितना अच्छा recommendation मिला है उस हिसाब से तुम्हें ऊपर जाओ. सर्टिफिकेशंस ऐड करो जितने भी है. तुम्हें स्किल सेट ऐड करो कि तुम्हें क्या आता है क्या नहीं. You can also add your services here. So also provide some kind of services. You can also add your own. कि let's say तुम IT consulting देते हो, career development coach हो, public speaking में हो, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट करके देते हो, क्लाउड के लिए हेल्प कर देते हो. बस तो try to find, reach out to people on LinkedIn. If I scroll down a bit more, how did I got my first internship? LinkedIn helped me. This is how I got my first internship at Neural Space. This organization, uh, I got into because of the community events which I was doing. Back then, when I was a Rasa developer, Rasa contributor, I got a reach out by community guy saying that hey, we are looking for a particular person. Are you interested? We got a referral from a community head कि तुम job ढूंढ रहे हो. So we are open for it if you want to join. So I say yes and we go ahead. So this is how usually the connection builds. Similarly, this organization LinkedIn से ही मिला. So you need to build connections. Connections से पता चलेगा कितना तुम आगे हो, क्या कुछ कर सकते हो. हैकेथॉन से पार्टिसिपेट करो. Hackathons के लिए dev post है. Dev post has this really good hackathons. I have been winner. You can see my profile here. I've been winner multiple hackathons. Even hackathon was by Snapchat. So I won there. This was from Postman. So I won Postman swag there. This was by WWP Hacks. It's completely different organization itself. So go here, go into hackathons. I'll share the link in the chat. And you will find multiple hackathons. अभी सीजन थोड़ा डाउन चलता है. Like when there is summer, सीजन बहुत लो चलता है. In winter, in the start of the year, in the end of the year, it's really crazy. मेटा आता है हैकाथॉन्स लेके, गूगल आता है हैकाथॉन्स लेके, फिर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का भी आता है, मीडिया का भी था, डेल का था. So you can participate in those. Even I was recently part of Elastic Blogathon, so I'll be able to show you something. Devanshu may know about it because he has connected me on LinkedIn. Elastic Blogger. This was a blogathon, and winners were announced here. So there are multiple winners, whereas I was third because the first guy who wrote a blog, he directly added a research paper. So he was completely out of the league when it comes to research paper. Instead of adding a blog, he just directly wrote a research paper and published it because he was at a director level. So this is how the whole prizes were. So the winner would get MacBook, second would get iPad, and I got Apple Watch, which is like so, I have. ये सब मैं परचेज नहीं करता मुझे आता है. It's like that. So there are multiple things which I have on my desk. Even this was a part of this swag box which Elastic gave me. So yeah, you could get a good swags and you can earn good enough amount from them. तो इसलिए हैकेथॉन्स पार्टिसिपेट करो, इंडिया वाले भी बाहर वाले भी, क्योंकि बाहर में पैसा मिलता है ज़्यादा डॉलर में. डॉलर लाओ जीडी बढ़ा. ओके.